And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gym of Crypto, episode 658. Today is Wednesday, February 10th, 2021, and I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay, and we are here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community Monday through Friday at 10-ish.
At 10-ish in today's top stories. Former British MP says central bank should ban Bitcoin. FTX CEO claims competitor responsible for racist messages delivered to Blockfolio users. CME's Ether futures drove more than $30 million of volume on the first day. UN report says North Korea behind $281 million exchange hack to fund nukes and avoid hosted crypto wallets at all costs, warns Elon Musk. But first and foremost, let's go ahead and take a look at these prices.
Oh, yeah. So after a huge day yesterday and the day before, Bitcoin has settled down at $44,810, down 3.3%. Ethereum at 1,713 is down 1.8%. Ripple just won't die at 48 cents is up 6.48%. Stellar at 39 cents, up 1% as well. Cardano at 82 cents, up 20% today. Wow. The Chainlink Marines at 26.34 is up 3.9%. Litecoin at 176 is up 5.8%. And last but not least, EOS at 386 is up 6.5%. So we are seeing a mixture of green and red, some coins settling down, some just getting amped up. I did see another one, Dash went crazy yesterday, but that has settled down as well. So again, we're seeing a lot of these altcoins pop. There were some that got smacked down because they were over leveraged, but we're just getting started.
Yeah, and just kind of looking at this, one thing I want to point out I saw this morning was hilarious. I saw one of my old crypto portfolios and what it could have been worth and everything. And one of them was like damn near in the negatives almost. And it was because I had all of these old top 10 coins in there from back in the day. So I was like, oh, this is hilarious. I deleted, I should have took a screenshot, but it made me look at the top 10 coins today. I'm like, you don't even need to be in the year for 2 years now. If you've been in the crypto industry for the last year, you should see what we're talking about. The top 10 coins changed. The only ones that are still here at this point from like a year or 2 years ago are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple. We know Stellar just came in recently. Cardano is new. Chainlink is new. Litecoin was there. Dogecoin is new in the top 10, but not a new crypto, of course. So right there, that's 4 of the top 10 that are new coins to being in the past year. That is crazy. Mm-hmm. So I just want to make sure we put that in perspective for everyone thinking that their coin is the next big thing. Oh, as I said, Chainlink just took back over Cardano, number 5. There we go. It happened so quickly. So I wanted to make sure to point that out. And something's going on with the screen. So I'm a small box, just to let you know. I don't know what's happening.
That's weird.
But yeah, oh well. Top story of the day. Former British MP says central banks should ban Bitcoin. This is actually a double whammy, as this former British MP is also serving as our Dino of the day. What is going on with Nick Bowes, the former British MP, Bitcoin's A?
Oh, man. So it seems as though the veteran financial advisor, Nick Bowes, has actually said that Bitcoin should be banned and to have banned crypto transactions. Also, Neil Liversidge, he came to the UK government and parliament with a petition to ban crypto transactions. So he's the owner of West Riding Personal Financial Solutions, and he started a petition urging local financial authorities to stop crypto transactions. He says legislate to prohibit the payment by or acceptance of cryptocurrencies by UK residents, businesses, or individuals, and require UK regulators to prohibit transactions by UK financial institutions in cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin. So we have this Dino roaring very loud simply because he doesn't want to see innovation happen. It's probably going to hurt his business. And we have another Dino that got out over the weekend or this week. And we thought we get rounded them all up, but apparently they keep popping out. I thought the conversation was over. Once Elon Musk bought Bitcoin, it was like, all right, what are we trying to stop here? But yes, Nick Bowles, Neil Liversidge, but especially Nick Bowles, definitely the Dino of the day.
Now, before we give him that loud roar, I just want to point out, this is the scary thing about this. This was the former British MP for 9 years. So while Bitcoin was alive and doing well, this is the intentional suppression. This isn't us with a conspiracy theory anymore saying we think they're trying to kill it, they don't believe in it, or XYZ. No, this is them coming out and telling you like, yeah, F that thing. I ain't never believe it, don't like it, don't want it. And by the way, when I was the British Prime Minister for almost a decade, all of a sudden my thoughts on this were better, right? Of course not. Like, this person has had this in his soul and heart over a software, over technology, over something non-existent. He has hated it. He has spewed vitriol, I'm sure, in the parliament. And this is one of the reasons why Bitcoin has had this slow growth. I mean, we probably could have already been at this point of adoption and pricing if people like members of the parliament actually wanted it to happen, but they clearly don't. And like you said, it's crazy. Even after the Elon Musk news, even after Bitcoin is about to hit 50K, even after the stats are in 9 million percent increase like from the last decade, all these numbers are in, and you still have people in leadership saying that y'all need to ban it. Like, this makes no sense. And force, and I mean, really listen to this. They should ban the trading of it. So a private company should ban the trading of it and force anyone who holds, when we're talking about forcing a human to do something in 2021, this is crazy, and force anyone who holds Bitcoin and wants to use it to exchange it for any another currency that does not have such a damaging side effect. Last but not least, not only is this becoming very draconian and among the ways of Hitler, and we know how you all do in Europe. We don't do that in America. We don't force people to do things they don't want to do for the most part. But this damaging side effect, which you mentioned as well, the whole electricity consumption, again, we talked about this so many times, is so crazy. I have a bright idea. Instead of complaining about Bitcoin and energy consumption, how about we just have more humans get involved to figure out how to make the energy consumption more efficient? How about we make things better instead of just pushing things away and saying, oh, I guess this won't work? Could you imagine the first time someone put electricity in the house, you turn on your lights and you see the electricity bill? Because you remember, you're going from fire to electricity. So your bill automatically went up 100%.
Crazy.
In a 24-hour period. Could you imagine those people were like, oh, we don't want electricity in a house. We don't want our city on an electric grid. None of this makes sense. We're using up too much of the world's resources. Like, get the out of here, right?
Get out of here. And on top of that, his quote after that makes him even more of a T-Rex. He says, there are other cyber currencies that do no harm in the real world at all. What an idiot. We want people to trade Bitcoin for other cyber currencies. What, your CBDC that do no harm in the real world? I mean, Jesus Christ, that might be the worst quote I've heard in regards to other cyber currencies. And of course, when people bring up the energy debate, or they say there's something wrong with Bitcoin's energy, remember Henry Ford 100 years ago, the guy that people still trust to this day and buy his cars based off his vision, stated himself, energy should be used as our money. It should be turned into money. He didn't know he was talking about Bitcoin at the time, but Henry Ford was definitely talking about Bitcoin. We're there now. If the energy price goes up, who cares? The value has increased exponentially and will affect everybody else. What's taking a lot of energy is all this extra gas emissions from oil and other big business. It's not Bitcoin. Like, calm down. Bitcoin is tiny on the scale of energy.
And I just want to one more time piggyback on that. People, energy is a technical problem. Like, literally, you get some of the smartest people in the room and give them a few weeks to figure it out, and they will figure it out. It's just one of those things where this is a new issue because, if you remember just 2, 3, 4 years ago, you all didn't care about Bitcoin. No one cared about the Bitcoins of the world, the Cardanos, and all these other coins, Doge coins that you get excited about. No one cared before 2017. Energy wasn't a problem there because people weren't using it. Then all of a sudden, people started using it. The first thing everybody wanted to fix was the scaling. Let's make sure everyone can use the Bitcoin network, which they continue to work on. After the scaling issues are fixed, out of the blue, I would guess that these developers will move on to electricity consumption. So these are all technical problems. They can be solved. But what can't be solved is this old way of thinking, this dinosaur way of thinking. If you've been here before, you know we have a whole stable of them, and we're officially adding one more dinosaur. His name is Nick Bowes. Again, the old MP over there, and so we're in Europe. Drink your tea, brush your teeth, and get this loud roar.
Yeah.
Scream away. There we go.
Get
That's how they sound in the morning.
They wake up in the morning and just yelling at the screen. Oh my God, these Bitcoin people. Like,
Listen,
get out of here, bro. How lame are you? Like,
I know their head are about to explode. Could you imagine being a member of parliament telling people for a decade straight to not want to get anything about Bitcoin and crypto, and then yesterday happens at $47,000?
Yeah, exactly. Man, congrats. You just missed the best investment of all time.
There we go.
Dino, baby.
We had our comments rolling in slow today. I don't know what it is. Still, we have to activate. I push hello at work. But shout out to John D. John D, I guess, is our one dislike every day. He said, I gave you guys a dislike because I cannot locate your Bitcoin hoodies. Two things. Bitcoin Zay is going to be giving a shout out for new hoodies today. And then also for one of our crypto warriors, who, again, we don't take anything from it. He has the hoodies and stuff. We put that description in all the boxes. So all you got to do is scroll down in the notes box and you'll see it. What's going on? Edward K, Erica K, Jonathan Luna, Marcellus Love, Ross Shu, Sierra Van Axel, JC Reddick III. Greetings all. Was I the only one checking my portfolio like a fiend last night? Oh no. The trade cycle is back in, baby. Like Bitcoins, they said, you make 80% of your money, 20% of the time. I have been checking my portfolio around the clock. What's going on, Antonio? Gervais Wright said the next big question is code free speech. So that means Bitcoin is free speech. How can you ban it? Crypto Q, John D. John D said, I'll take the dislike back when I purchase a Bitcoin hoodie. Hilarious. The P-Man Van, Fumble the Face, Blues Lover, Gervais Wright, Crypto Rasputin, William Justice, Lisa Lee, Lyric Forbes, Robert Kelly. I hope that ain't the Robert Kelly I heard of before. This man 1021, Joshua Richardson, Tariq. Hey, John, appreciate that tip. John was like, all right, put that top in front to make sure he get it. We're going to take care of you by the end of the show today.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on, Adrian? All right. FTX CEO claims competitor responsible for racist messages delivered to the Blockfolio users. That is right. The crypto world heard us yesterday loud and clear. The messages rolling in, and he was like, hold up. This don't have nothing to do with me. It was him over there. What's going on with this story from Sam Bankman-Fried?
Oh, yeah. So Sam Bankman-Fried, who was also on Clubhouse as well, discussing the FTX hack, he took to Twitter in a long thread where he actually stated he was sorry about the messages on Blockfolio. They figured out what happened. There are a couple holes in this. He said that there was offensive content published by a competitor exchange of ours who maliciously gained access to someone else's Blockfolio / Signal capabilities. So we don't know who that competitor was. And of course, at this point, since we don't have that name, we're not sure who was the person who hacked in and was, of course, every time there's a hack, they feel very comfortable saying something about niggers. But yes, it seems as though Blockfolio has heard people loud and clear. The CEO has tried to clean up the situation by adding $10 to the trading accounts of all users. Unfortunately, it was a little misstep because it was sort of marketing like, hey, next 1 million people that sign up get $10 in trading accounts. So it's like, all right, well, good chance to market here. But also he donated to organizations dedicated to fighting racial and societal injustices like the ACLU. I will say in our current economic condition, I would rather him give that $10 million directly to either Black businesses or people that he wants to actually help, because most of his actual users are not Black. So that $10, it went to the people for free. He tried to clean it up. Shout out to him for standing up for what he believes is trying to get these racist messages out of here. But at the end of the day, it happened. It's over. It didn't really affect myself, but for those who were affected, this was a good outreach. However, it was a little shaky, just a little shaky.
You know, I will add to John D, thanks for another tip. Appreciate it. John was like, y'all can take some jokes. I'll give you this this little hookup. We're gonna make sure you get a hoodie, John.
Yeah.
One thing I want to mention too, and I was thinking about this yesterday. I'm glad you did bring up this story, because you remember essentially initially I was just like it's another one of those, like, who cares? But you know what? One thing I keep forgetting about not only the cryptocurrency space, but the market in general, the financial markets in general, especially since the acceleration of apps like Robinhood, is that there is a younger audience now in this space. There is also a younger audience in the crypto space. So you're right. That may affect the 14-year-old trader different than it affects the 30-something-year-old trader. So I am with you as far as calling it out. I'm glad the CEO came out, essentially he's like, hey, we know who did it. And last but not least, have to point this out. It goes to what we always say, that these things are not conspiracy theories. If it's only 4 or 5 companies tussling for what could be a multi-billion / trillion-dollar market, the gloves may be off for some of these companies. Roger Ver came out already when Coinbase may or may not have pumped like a Bcash and then Ripple. And he came out and was like, there is no such thing as market manipulation, right? Didn't he say that in this space? He was like, there's nothing illegal about what's going on, what may or may not have happened. He came out and said it. So ethics aren't on the table when it comes to crypto, people. People are coming from other industries with pockets of money, trying to mitigate their risk. They're not trying to play fair and make sure you get a piece of the pie or even a crumb. It is to get rid of you. It is to destroy you and your market. So when I think of that, and you even have the CEO, again, maybe or maybe not, it could have been a competitor, but they're coming out saying this was done from a competitor, a competing exchange. That shows me it's not a conspiracy theory. Someone wants them up out of there so they can take the market share. And that makes sense to me as a business person. Not saying it's right or wrong, but I do think we are seeing that in this space. We're going to see that when it comes to companies. We're going to see it when it comes to governments. We're going to see it when it comes to individual holders of different coins. But the fact remains the same. It is in the space. You cannot disregard it because you will be, I mean, you'll be exploited by it because essentially it's happening.
Yeah, and I do want to mention for those of you with the tinfoil hat who may have a conspiracy theory that this was a marketing ploy, may not be too far off. We have seen this with H&M, put a little black boy in a monkey shirt. We saw with Gucci, they had the blackface pull up. It incites rage, and it incites people talking. People start talking about it. Then once the dust clears, if it only costs you 10 million for your business to increase, tenfold, that's a pretty good investment. So there is some people that are like, this may be a marketing play. I don't think he did this intentionally. Maybe he has a rogue marketing person. Who knows? But either way, shouldn't have affected anybody too much. I mean, their words, we've seen them before. I know they hurt, but at the same time, as a black person who's seen that, that's the least of my worries right now. Like,
right.
Some idiot who tweeted out that's like the least of my worries.
I'm over here laughing at the chats. I apologize, everybody. That's my bad. I forgot a lot of our followers from the UK fumbled the face was like, Britt here, my teeth are fine, thanks. But 99% of our MPs are utterly useless. Hey, they're just like our Congress. They're on the same boat. Les Square, what's going on? I think I said a Square, Juice Man, Joshua Richardson, Tariq, Abu Samad. I think I said that right, but pronounce it if I did it wrong. Adrian Ford, let's go. I see more comments coming in. PFC Wells said your boy Sam was not ready for the clubhouse room. It was hilarious. I heard there was some interesting things going on there yesterday. I saw some of the messages going back and forth. All right. CME's Ether futures drove more than $30 million of volume on the first day. Listen, I know when the future markets and first came out, what was it, 2017, late 2017 they came out? I was one of the people who doubted them. I was like, there's no way in hell people would be that foolish to go all in on the futures market and actually it have some effect on the price of Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. We saw that to actually be true. I think it was either CME or one of those guys came out and said, their CEO said, we're going to tame Bitcoin. They did it. My point is this futures market is real, right? It's a derivatives market. I still don't understand why people are buying into it and not the underlying asset. I still don't understand that, but it is a real market, and it looks like it's kicking off with a good start when it comes to Ether. More than $30 million worth of Ether contracts changed hands on CME during the market's first day of trade. What's going on with this story? I like how this picture is funny too, with the Ethereum holding his hands.
Oh yeah. So on their first day, they saw 388 contracts traded, with 303 of the contracts being mobilized to speculate on February's price. 84 contracts were expiring in March that were traded, and only one single April contract changed hands. Now, one thing I want people to understand is that when these price increases happen, a lot of times there is a catalyst for it, and the news is too late. So them putting this out, I think there may have been something more at play for people buying Ethereum. For one, getting close or passing the all-time high is very bullish. For two, the fact that there was a huge airdrop we just talked about before we got on, there was a huge airdrop worth about 5 figures that was coming for Ethereum holders. That happened as well. Of course, when futures start, usually the first move is up and then CME futures is pushed down. So this is basically right in line with how futures started with Bitcoin. During the bull market, futures came along, the price went from 6,000 to 20,000. Then it went from 20,000 to 3. Same thing may happen with Ethereum. It's in price discovery. Let's say it goes to 10,000. We may see a huge dip over time. So not surprised with futures. Again, if you're not buying the underlying asset, what are you really doing? However, I can understand buying futures for altcoins, because if you're going to flip it anyway, what's the point in taking the risk and having to get on exchange and buy it and reset? Might as well just trade it for cash and then just use that to buy Bitcoin later. So shout out to Ethereum for getting that started. It's looking like they're too big to fail at this point.
Yeah, Ethereum's tracking. You all might get your 10x like you want, or I guess a 8x at this point. But but it is tracking. That's pretty cool. I will say, looking at those old portfolios, out of all the coins that are doing the best, out of all those old top 10 coins, you know, how many pairs was I in back then? I remember when I first got started in the crypto, Bitcoin Zay was looking at me like, bro, like you are spread way too thin right now. People, I had like 30 coins. I was like, I want a piece of everything. But my point is, looking at the old 30 something coins, only two stood out, and that was Ethereum and of course Bitcoin. But yeah, I just want to point that out. Douglas Facey said, "What's up, brothers? How can we purchase Bitcoin without the government tracking us? The best way is the peer-to-peer way, of course. Finding someone in your area locally who could just sell you the Bitcoin, or you could also go through different exchanges using VPNs, of course. That always works. Bitcoin, Zay, you got anything?"
Oh yeah, Bisq.network. Download that open source software. You can transact with anybody peer to peer, ATMs and local Bitcoins up to 20,000. No KYC required.
Yeah. There you go. Fumble the face. No, not just you. I know Antonio from the UK is going to be saying something to us later too, so I had to correct it. No, I'm kidding. All right. UN report, something we've been talking about that's going to be coming down the pike. Here it is. UN report says North Korea behind $281 million exchange hack to fund nukes. That is right. A preliminary report from United Nations inquiry suggests North Korea is using the proceeds from crypto hacks to fund its weapons programs. The United Nations has accused the North Korean state of stealing. Hold on, let me bring this up. Of stealing. I had it up and I brought it. The United Nations has accused the North Korean state of stealing $281 million worth of crypto from an exchange during September of 2020. According to Reuters, the findings from a confidential report authored by independent sanctions monitors for UN Security Council members strongly suggest links between the hacks perpetrators and the North Korean regime. Reuters quoted the report. Preliminary analysis based on the attack vectors and subsequent efforts to launder the illicit proceeds strongly suggests links to the DPRK. I'm not going to believe this just off of this statement. Kind of like, I kind of need more to say it suggests links that's coming from the actual government, the actual regime. But it's possible. Reuters did note the UN report accuses North Korea of using the stolen funds to support its nuclear and ballistic missile programs in violation of international sanctions. So on and so forth. You can read about this. But my thing behind this is just the overall narrative of Bitcoin is going to be used for some nefarious international incident, probably along the lines of terrorist activity. First and foremost, this could be true, right? It could be true, but I don't know if it is true. I want to see all of this information. I just want to see broken up in bits and pieces from a news source. I mean, you're talking about a major hack. You're talking about missiles. Why are we hiding this, right? You scared? Like, put the information out there if it's real information. Secondly, is again, before we even get started on this narrative, we're talking about missiles. Missiles, people, 281 million only gets you a few of them. Don't get you that many missiles. It might only get you a few of the scientists it takes to actually get the missiles program going. I do want to make sure we point out that, again, we're still looking at that less than 1% to 2% of nefarious activity in the crypto space. But this will be the narrative moving forward. I just hope if this is a narrative, stories like this coming out are actually true and not just some type of FUD piece.
Oh yeah, and I seriously doubt North Korea has some super missiles that they're going to shoot. Nobody cares about those little baby missiles they just bought. A good missile costs you about 50 million, 100 million. So that 281 isn't going very far. However, I will state what you stated before. We cannot stress enough that the attack that will come to Bitcoin will not be about Bitcoin. It will be about everything around it that people may be using it for child trafficking. Some people may be using it for nukes. It may be a terrorist attack, and they're going to say Bitcoin was used as the transaction, and they're going to try and say, hey, if you're a real patriot, you shouldn't use that China money, Bitcoin. I'm telling you, it's coming. I can see the lines right now. So this is a much bigger story because of that. I don't think North Korea did all of this, so to say, but if you blame it on them, what are they going to say back? Nothing. So North Korea is a good scapegoat, and I believe that this is part of a larger story that will come out in the future.
And to be real, if North Korea actually did this and they were successful in doing this, what is that saying about the rest of the market? What is that saying about exchange? What is that saying about the rest of the countries in the market? You're telling me out of all these countries and people, it's only North Korea that has the ability and will actually execute hacks and do like I'm just not seeing it point to one person or one government. I don't know, right? Who knows? But what I will say is already we have seen the FUD coming in from China, of course, controlling the total hash rate, which for some reason makes people believe they control all the Bitcoin. So we have those stories coming out, and of course, North Korea is China's little brother. So it kind of to me makes sense. Right after we get China, we're gonna go after North Korea. And again, I saw Antonio from the UK. He said something in the comments like these stories are being recycled, and like North Korea gets recycled every year, like China.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
we'll say that as well. And yes, I saw some comments about Elon Musk. We're actually about to talk about Elon. Avoid hosted crypto wallets at all costs, warns Elon Musk. What's going on with Elon? He is going for, he got bit by the Bitcoin bug officially.
Oh yeah, and he's definitely turning into a crypto person because we're very combative. We shoot back at people we don't like. He actually shot back at one company, the Free Wallet, a hosted crypto wallet service for cryptocurrencies. They actually did a self-promotional tweet to Elon Musk, and he responded, "Your app sucks. Any crypto wallet that won't give you your private keys should be avoided at all costs." So if you wanted a shout out from Elon Free Wallet, you got it, because he basically told the world your app sucks. I'm sure that publicity probably still will be good for you all, but again, not your keys, not your coins, which was popularized by Andreas Antonopoulos, is the basis of what he's saying. Again, you keep your keys on third-party platforms. You can have rogue actors gain access, and I'm sure Elon found a way to buy his Bitcoin and move it off into cold storage for that simple fact. So Free Wallet, sorry, but it looks like Elon's smoking on that Free Wallet pack tonight, because when the richest man in the world says your app sucks, Jesus Christ, that's a terrible way to go out. But yes, again, no keys, no cheese. Make sure you own your private keys. Move it off of these exchanges.
And Free Wallet actually responded. The accusations related to this fact are never followed by a support ticket. People saying stay away from Free Wallet express prejudice. For one, stop saying people. He calls you out, call him out back. You should have been like at Elon. People saying stay away from Free Wallet express prejudice towards custodial wallets because they believe that a true blockchain wallet is supposed to lead the management of private keys to the user. No. However, there are other services like exchanges that have access to user private keys. Here's what I would say. First of all, let's go back to narrative. I keep talking narrative because it's what I did for work, people. For those who know, I did PR for the Navy for about 5 or 6 years. I know about narratives and shaping narratives. This is them shaping a narrative. They just told you that people want to believe that a true blockchain wallet is supposed to leave the management of private keys to the user and then said no after. No, you're wrong. It's actually yes. How could you say no? I mean, this is crazy. They literally just came out and is trying to change what is the reason why we have Bitcoin blockchain. So that is kind of crazy to me. Second thing is they're talking about a support ticket. Anybody who's been in this space for more than a day knows that the chance of you getting an actual support ticket and it being followed up in a timely manner are like 0 to none. This is probably not going to happen. That is actually one of the biggest issues in the crypto space is that almost all these companies across the board, no one has a real dedicated support team. And that's because not enough people know about crypto. And then those who actually learn enough about crypto decide they don't want to do support because they know so much they can make more. So it's just
Coinbase.
Right. Is this everlasting like this thing that keeps going back and forth? It's like we don't have enough support. We get support. Oh, they know about crypto. They go do their own thing. So it's one of those things where no one has support. Coinbase, Bittrex, so on and so forth. And last but not least, I actually just downloaded Free Wallet not too long ago. I downloaded Free Wallet about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And in my experience, I would say as soon as I downloaded, started signing up and everything, I stopped using it. Like literally, it was like a 30-minute hour thing. I was like, I don't like this guy.
So you agree? So you agree that
I agree. And I can't remember if it was a private key thing or whatever, but I do remember. I mean, I literally, as soon as you said I looked down, I was like, I think that was when I just downloaded. Literally just downloaded about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I didn't delete it only because I was like, you know what? I'm keeping that one out in the open just in case anybody ever gets my phone. They go, oh, here it is right there. I'm doing that intentionally. But that's why I'm using it for that. And other than that, I'm not using it for anything else. So I will have to agree. I got to agree with Elon on that. I started smoking on that pack about 2 weeks ago when I saw it. I was
smoking that Free Wallet pack. Oh, yeah. You're nothing but a decoy.
And my thing is, I will almost be ready to defend them from Elon if they didn't come out themselves and was like, no, you ain't supposed to have your private keys. What? I would rather them have said, we understand how difficult the space is right now. The UIs, the UXs are still being built on, and for the time being, we're going to custodial your crypto. I could almost go, all right, and then 3 or 4 years later, be like, guys, you still have everybody's crypto, but instead, they're like, no, that ain't even what we doing at all. We are literally here.
We hold your keys. That's what
Right.
we.
Not you, it's us. So there's that on there. James Doe said Trezor, nothing more. P-Man Van said, I wrote the ledger 3 months ago, still no answer. Tariq said Coinbase is the worst. Here's what's interesting too. Oh, and one thing I want to correct is I will say Exodus is still, I guess, a non-custodial wallet. From when I was being told after the live stream I had with Crypto Blood the other day, one of the guys in there, the real Alan Hanna, who's been in the space as well, him and Tim Power were telling me it's actually not Exodus is messing up. It's who they're doing their funding or they're trading through, which is Shapeshift. I'm being told that Shapeshift is the ones who, like, as of this morning, you can't buy Cardano, right? It's because of Shapeshift, what I'm being told. So I want to make sure I throw that out there as well. Bitcoin's that, you have anything?
Real quick, for those who were asking about the no keys, no cheese shirts, they dropped today. So no keys, no cheese. We just talked about Elon Musk. If you don't own your private keys, you don't own it. So no keys, no cheese, t-shirts, hats, and socks. Again, this was popularized by Andreas Antonopoulos. Not your keys, not your Bitcoin, but no keys, no cheese rhymes, and it flows a lot easier. So no keys, no cheese if you believe in it. Get your merch today, and appreciate all the support from everybody. We'll definitely have more coming.
And tonight we will be on Fox Soul, correct?
Fox Soul, baby. 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. Fox Soul will be on there with Dr. Tanya Evans and Cleve Messador.
There you go. And then tomorrow I will also be joining Dr. Boyce on his thing again. I will give it, you know what, credit where credit's due. They listen. Dr. Boyce, he's bringing in the crypto folks to talk crypto. So hey, shout out to Dr. Boyce and everything they have going over there with the what's it called? What's the group called? I can't even think of it off the top of my head right now.
Black Wealth, something.
Yeah, the Black Wealth Group. Yeah, but I can't. I mean, he has something like 1B or something. He always says it's pretty cool. I can get it done. Real quick, Juice Man, what are your thoughts on Polkadot and VeChain? VeChain, I thought was dead. Didn't it rebrand? Just to go ahead and throw that out there. I thought it changed to B Thor or something. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong comments, but I thought VeChain already rebranded and it's not good looks on that. Polkadot, like Cardano, everyone thinks is the next big thing. Quite possibly will be, at least from the speculation it could be. But again, those are definitely speculative as well. And I think that's about it. I'm looking through the comment section. Crypto Q said the Isaiah Jackson residency at Fox. Hilarious. I love it though. give him his residency. Let's do it. Let's give him his residency at Fox, right?
About to be a regular contributor.
Hey, thanks, JC Reddick. He said we killed it on Boyce last time. Jonathan Luna said, "Where Cardano kill Ether?" I mean, I think that's just as good of a question as, will XYZ kill Bitcoin, right? And with that, that's the show for today. Thanks for watching, people. We have been receiving the emails, a lot of emails coming in, so we'll get back to them as we can. And other than that, enjoy the day, and we see you all tomorrow with some more crypto news. Cheers.